Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
The Israeli military says a ceasefire is now in effect after its forces pulled back to parts of Gaza. Troops have positioned themselves along the lines agreed under the Trump plan, the IDF says, but will continue to remove any immediate threat. It comes after the Israeli government approved a deal with Hamas, which will also see the release of hostages. Hamas now has 72 hours to release all Israeli hostages, while Israel will release hundreds of Palestinian detainees.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's the hostages will be coming back Monday or Tuesday. I'll probably be there. I hope to be there, and we're planning on leaving sometime Sunday, and I look forward to it. And everybody I see is celebrating in Israel, but they're celebrating in many other countries too.
While people across the world have welcomed the peace deal, there is still skepticism that it will hold, especially when it comes to deciding how Gaza should be rebuilt and who should rule over the Strip.
The carnage must end altogether. Israeli occupation forces must withdraw completely and totally. We immediately provide for our people, and we immediately link with the international community to make sure that the genocide does not repeat. So we go swiftly towards what President Trump talks about as the new peace in the Middle East. So we go to the root cause of all this, which is the occupation and establishing a state of Palestine.
Peru's Congress has voted to remove President Dina Boluarte from office, hours after a late-night session was called to debate her impeachment. An overwhelming majority of lawmakers from across the political spectrum approved her ousting on grounds of permanent moral incapacity. In an address on national television following the vote, Boluarte questioned the implications it would have on the stability of Peru's democracy. One of the world's most unpopular leaders with an approval rating of 2 to 4%, Boluarte's tenure was plagued by frequent protests, scandals and investigations. Russian missile and drone strikes have caused power cuts in large parts of Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. 9 people were injured, while residents in eastern districts were plunged into darkness and faced disruption to water supplies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called for real steps from allies to apply pressure to Russia. Long queues have been snaking around petrol stations in Mali's capital, a month after militants from an al-Qaeda affiliate imposed a fuel blockade by attacking tankers on major highways. Some of the garages, forced to shut last week, paralyzing the city, have now reopened after more than 300 petrol tankers arrived under army escort from Ivory Coast. The military government has assured residents it is only a temporary issue, but there are fears new stock will quickly run out as others complain about price hikes.
How are you? Hello. So nice to see you.
The Prince of Wales has been visibly moved as he heard firsthand about the devastating impact of suicide, having to pause during a conversation with Rhiannon Mannings, whose husband took his own life.
And I think that's what the hardest thing is. We would have been okay. You okay?
I'm sorry, it's hard to ask you questions that
I know. Hard, and you've experienced loss yourself.
Rhiannon has since set up a bereavement charity, and Prince William's Royal Foundation is contributing £1 million to develop a national suicide prevention network. Prince William, on World Mental Health Day, said he wanted to build a bold, unified national response to the heartbreaking and preventable tragedy of suicide. The green turtle has been rescued from the brink of extinction in what scientists are calling a major conservation victory. Once hunted extensively for turtle soup, its eggs as a delicacy and decorative shells, the ancient mariner saw its numbers plummet and has been listed as endangered since the 1980s. Now, thanks to decades of global conservation efforts, from protecting eggs and releasing hatchlings on beaches to reduce accidental capture in fishing nets, new data shows green turtle populations are rebounding.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee
and the Venezuelan opposition leader and pro-democracy campaigner Maria Corina Machado has won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Maria Corina Machado.
The committee said she had resisted death threats in her fight against President Nicolas Maduro, widely considered a dictator who's cheated elections. There was speculation Donald Trump had an outside chance of winning, with the US president repeatedly claiming he's stopped 7 wars.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.